Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm David Kerr from Lansing, Michigan, and these are your latest news headlines from around the world. There's speculation that Israel and Hamas may be on the verge of agreeing a 5-day ceasefire in Gaza. According to a report in the Washington Post, the pause in fighting would allow for the release of Israeli hostages, while also permitting greater humanitarian aid to reach the Palestinian people. Officials from both the US and the Qatari governments have confirmed that they are working on a peace agreement, although the hopes of a breakthrough have been downplayed by the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel began its military intervention in the Gaza Strip after Hamas militants attacked their country on October the 7th, leaving over 1,200 people dead and more than 200 others taken hostage. Meanwhile, the Hamas-run health ministry say that more than 13,000 people have now been killed in Gaza since, with many of them being women and children. Elsewhere, Pope Francis will meet with the relatives of Israeli hostages and suffering Palestinian families on Wednesday in Rome. The director of the Holy See Press Office, Matteo Bruni, said that the two separate meetings are exclusively humanitarian in nature and aim to express the Pope's spiritual closeness to those suffering due to war. Meanwhile, on Sunday, Pope Francis implored people to never resign themselves to war. Speaking during his Sunday Angelus address, the Holy Father renewed his call for peace and called for prayers for people suffering in Myanmar, Ukraine, Palestine and Israel. War always is a defeat, said the Pope, adding that the only people who gain from conflict are those who manufacture weapons. Also on Sunday, Pope Francis had lunch with around 1,200 poor people. The meal was part of the Vatican-sponsored initiatives marking the 7th annual World Day of the Poor. The people who shared lunch with the Roman Pontiff in the Paul VI Audience Hall also attended Holy Mass in St. Peter's Basilica. The event was arranged by the Vatican's Dicastery for the Service of Charity. A United Nations court has ruled that Azerbaijan must allow ethnic Armenians who fled the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh following the Azerbaijani military takeover in September to return to their homes. The region is recognised internationally as part of Azerbaijan, but has been controlled by ethnic Armenians for 3 decades. In total, over 100,000 ethnic Armenians have fled Nagorno-Karabakh in recent months. Now, the International Court of Justice has ruled that the Azerbaijan government must ensure that persons who have left Nagorno-Karabakh after September the 19th and who wish to return can do so in a safe, unhindered and expeditious manner. The President of Iraq has told Pope Francis that Christians are crucial for the development, advancement and prosperity of the Middle Eastern nation. Meeting at the Vatican on Saturday, President Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid emphasised that his government is eager for religious minorities, including Christians, to return to Iraq, saying that his country is eager to advance pluralism, democracy and respect for individual liberties. Over the past 2 decades, the Christian population of war-torn Iraq has declined from an estimated 2 million to an estimated 150,000 Christians today. A nationwide crowdfunding initiative by and for Catholic dioceses in the United States is now going international with its generosity. The annual I Give Catholic campaign is held on the Tuesday following Thanksgiving. This year that's November the 28th. The initiative started in the Archdiocese of New Orleans in 2015 and is now spread to over 40 dioceses across the US. For the first time ever, however, the Pontifical Mission Societies USA will participate in the campaign. The Pontifical Mission Societies are a worldwide network that supports the Catholic missions and young churches in Asia, Africa, Oceania and Latin America. Catholic groups and pro-life campaigners in Nigeria have expressed concern that a proposed new development agreement between the European Union and governments in Africa, the Caribbean and the Pacific could see legalised abortion and so-called same-sex marriage imposed upon the African country. The campaigners say that such provisions are part of the new EU-ACP agreement. However, the Nigerian government say it has not yet approved the pact and is still evaluating its terms. The Supreme Court in Pakistan has ruled that a prestigious college in the city of Rawalpindi should be returned from government control to its original Christian owners. Gordon College was founded by Presbyterian ministers in 1893, but was nationalised by the Pakistani government in 1972. Now, following a protracted legal battle, the Supreme Court has granted ownership and management of the college to the Sialkot mission of the Presbyterian Church. Some observers are describing the ruling as a potential turning point for the religious and educational rights of Christians in Pakistan. The Russian Ministry of Justice has asked the country's Supreme Court to declare the global LGBT movement illegal. In filing the lawsuit, the Russian government say that the movement is a manifestation of extremism that causes social and religious strife. The Russian Supreme Court will hear the case on November the 30th. Finally, a Catholic nurse who narrowly survived a terror attack upon her church in Nigeria will this week be publicly honoured in Britain. Margaret Atta lost both legs and the sight in one eye when a bomb exploded in the St Francis Xavier's Church in the city of Owo in Ondo State on Pentecost Sunday last year. In total, 41 people were killed in the attack. Mrs Atta will now be presented with a Courage to be Christian award by the pontifical charity Aid to the Church in Need. Well, that's your latest headlines for now. Do join us for more tomorrow. You can also join us at swnews.org for news updates. Shalom.